again, everyone. This is the third stream of our coding live stream sessions. And today I kind of wanted to learn more about YARA rules. YARA, so that's YARA. It's something used in malware inspection, deep file inspection. It uses, so it's a type. Well, let's look it up. So I've been doing a lot of stuff with regular expressions, and didn't really know about this until well, I had heard about it, but I didn't really know what it was used for. But then recently I heard what it was really used for, and it's exactly what I've been trying to find. So it's something where you can compile a bunch of rules for when you're inspecting a file of any type. So, for example, I mean, for malware, here's some rules. Let's see. One of these that I know. Well, anyways, these are a bunch of viruses or different types of malware that you might find. Here's a Mirai malware rule. So in the meta, so this is stuff that they're saying describes what's going on with this rule. So this is a generic Mirai botnet rule. So it's looking for, I guess, TR069 worm, generic architecture of a Mirai botnet. So that's the author of this rule when they created it, so 2016, and a few references so you can see what they're actually trying to identify. And then these are strings that you're trying to find within that file that you're searching for. So you're looking for, so you're creating a variable called myname, and we're looking for that string, and this one's looking for this line, and so forth, and then a string called procnet with a path, and then this condition. So this is what triggers whether the rule is broken or not. So it's saying that if it contains this string, that, so it's saying if it contains all of this, then chances are it's a Mirai botnet malicious file. I'm not sure what type of file it is, but there's rules for that too, and I guess with that I'll show you kind of what I was messing around with. So last night I had looked on GitHub for some Python implementations of YARA, and luckily there's a really nice library for it called let's see, YARA Python. I think it's just called YARA Python. Yeah, it's from VirusTotal. So works like this. You import it. So I already have it installed on my system. I'm not going to go through all that. You can follow, their website to figure that out. But I will go through kind of how I used it, and kind of what you can use it to apply stuff with. So here's another example of a YARA rule that is checking for a file type. So this is one I found online, and all it's saying is that if at the beginning of this file the hex code, this pattern, so 504B0304, if that's found, then it's most likely a zip file. So you might end up getting some false positives or false negatives, but that's why you use multiples or multiple rules and try to kind of confirm what you're looking at by redundancy and multiple validations of different flags. And I guess that's not so important with some things. Like, it'd be a lot simpler for at least this to check for the extension. Like in Python, you could walk through a directory and check for the extension name, and if it's a zip file, well, it's going to have .zip. But this is a way to verify that it's actually of that file type. I guess it's a little bit more thorough. You could also, I guess, well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if YARA, you can check the file name. Like if that can be one of the strings. Like if this is in file name. It might be. But anyway, so I'll kind of give a little example of what this does. So this is our YARA scanner simple repository. I have it available on GitHub. I'll probably be adding to it, but for right now, here's some of the code. And I'm just going to kind of walk through what we're doing. So import YARA, we already installed that. That's kind of what I was going over of that GitHub page. Import OS, that's something within Python already, so you'll need to be installing that. So this is how I kind of set it up. So what we're doing is we're first compiling all the rules. So all those YARA files need to be compiled, and you can do that with the YARA Python library. So I created a function that passes in where the file location is, or the rule directory is. So this is where I'm going to put all of my different files, and I'm going to categorize them. So this one holds all file type roles, where some might hold malware. Maybe filter it by a specific type of malware. You know, if it's a rat or a worm, or so forth. And you can do a lot more than this. I mean, you can do this to any body of text. So if you wanted to search, because you can use regular expressions, you could search for a phone number, any matching phone numbers. Throw a flag in YARA, and then maybe outside of YARA. So I mean, I'm not doing that right now. I'm just saying, we've hit a match, but you might want to give that a point value. We've hit a match, and it was this type of rule that was broken, so act accordingly. And if it's of a certain weight, like maybe malware would be given the highest weight, and if it was triggered, that it was of reasonable certainty that you have a file that's malicious in your, I don't know, downloads folder, maybe we could act on that, or give a warning, or quarantine the file. But yeah, so we compile the rules. So here's the variables. This is real messy, and I'm gonna clean this up, and eventually, well, we'll see. I don't know. So we have an empty set of compile rules that is never used. And this is why I should check over my code before sharing it with people. Oops. But, yeah, okay, so target path is a local path, and we can see right now what I have in there is one file, just to make sure that any you know, I want to have this set so we give it a target directory, and that target directory is scanned. So I want everything to be recursively scanned through it. If there's a directory within it, I want all those the files within that to be checked against our rule library as well. So this is just kind of a quick way to test it. This doesn't have anything in it. Eventually, maybe I'll add some rules to see, you know, is this an email? Is this a phishing email? Is this a, you know, there's different things you can do with that. And there's plenty of public libraries for that. So I don't have to be making any of it. It's all publicly available. And I'll just be including useful rules that I find, you know, interesting. A couple use cases for this I'm thinking is I'll have it, just as a deep file inspector for anything coming into my downloads folder. If I find something, it will just be kind of like a first line of defense of, you know, okay, well, what is this? Is it what it says it is? You know, if we download something that says it's a zip file and it's not showing that it's actually a zip file on the inside, then maybe we should warn the user of that. But I also think it could be interesting in a honeypot. I mean, in the last Twitch stream I did, we deployed a Cowrie honeypot, but in some honeypots it allows you to have the attacker download or you know, inject something onto the server, in which case you get that file and you can inspect what the heck, you know, the file is, and interestingly enough, you might be able to find some malware, or at least to be able to identify it without having to, you know, scrounge through the code and understand, like, truly understand what's going on. You can kind of get someone else to do that for you. But alright, so we have a zip file in there, and that's the only one that's going to get triggered for now. I zipped it up myself. It's just of this test2.txt, so that's all that's inside of it. So let's give that a run, and you can kind of see what's going on. So yep, so loading rules, it starts compiling, and it walks through every directory and gets that file. It starts scanning it, so we have a match, and it says what rule was broken, so this is saying it's a file type zip. I can probably change that eventually. I might want to get the description, if it has one, you know, and then have that as what displays. You can do anything after it gets matched. I just wanted a proof of concept of, you know, okay, well, you get to this point, and then, you know, add what you will. Someone's getting towed. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna mess around with it. I think I'm gonna add a little bit to it, and then go from there. Maybe test it against some actual malware and see how it triggers, and show, you know, where you can get malware to be testing this stuff on. Yeah, I don't know how far I'll get. Maybe, I think this is probably going to be a short video. It's super late here. But, eventually, I think I will want it to be run as a service. Figure out how to do that, and have it actively scan if there's a new file in a directory, you know, a preset directory of what it's looking at, then, yeah, scan the file, and if it gets matched, maybe create a report. Lots of ideas. I don't know. Creating a report, I think, would be a good idea. You know, have it all in a JSON output, and then, you know, maybe we could just run that as a on a cron tab instead of a service. Bunch of different approaches we could take. I don't know. Oh my. Yeah. Alright, well. So we have a match. I'm just thinking of a couple things. I'm thinking maybe we can. Let's build up our library first of things that we want to check for, and to do that, I found an awesome list through Inquest. So big list of YARA roles. File type. So yeah, let's get that in order first. We can get some of these. So exe, that'd be interesting. Let's see. Alright, so instead of downloading this whole package, and I should figure out how to do this. So it's saying, you know, to include, like you can do multiple rules in one folder. I don't think I want to do that. I think I just want to have each rule be individual and then have them categorized in folders instead of how they have it. Although it makes me wonder if I can compile the rules differently. I might be able to just have one parent file at some point, and then have includes to all the extensions of what, you know, I want to check for. In which case I could have, you know, it would make it a lot easier. I could have different configurations for different types of things I want to set for. You know, you would never want to scan for, I don't know, well, you let's say you're looking for phishing emails, you probably don't want to be scanning for, I'm trying to come up with a good example. I don't know. There's you wouldn't want to have your whole library be filled with malware research if all you're looking for is a phishing email. So having some type of configuration to avoid that would be good, because this could get large. But for right now, I think I'm just going to have them categorized like this, and have each one that I want in there. So we're going to go back to that raw, and then in the terminal, we're going to go to our rules, file types, and we're going to call that file. So they all have a similar file name, so I'll just keep changing this, and we should be able to get them all in. So if we look at that, that's what's inside of our YARA role. So Again, it's saying if this is at the beginning of the file. See, now this is something. It's like this could probably lead to a lot of false positives. I mean, like just having MZ at the beginning of a file. You know what I mean? And one thing I want to do to test that is I'm going to put MZ inside one of these test files. I'm not sure if that will work or not. It might have some pre-appended text notifying it of it being a text file, but this is Linux. I don't know if that's actually, I don't think that's how it works, but I don't know. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see if that actually works. So yeah, now I just refreshed this, and our new role is inside of it, and we're gonna give this a shot. See you know, kind of one example of maybe it not being able to work as we had hoped. And let's give it a valid exe file too. What's a good exe file to be giving it? Rufus Windows. I think Rufus is only for Windows, so that's why I'm looking for it. Come on. Yeah, alright, there we go. So, also, just short note, Rufus is a way to create bootable USB drives. I've used it a lot with my flash drives. It's a really useful tool. It's totally free. I also use Etcher recently. It does, you know, same difference. But yeah, actually, honestly I like Etcher a little bit more for Linux. Although I think it might be for Windows as well. Yeah, it is. Either way, both of these are pretty cool. You're able to load up an ISO image into it, pick your device, and then write it to it, so you can create a bootable USB drive. I have it set with a USB 3.0 drive at 64 gigabytes, and it has a persistent Kali instance on it. Super helpful because it has my whole home file system. It's connected to you know, my server, so my file system, my cloud file system's there, not taking up any space, and I can use it on any you know, 64-bit computer. So if I need to borrow someone's laptop, I have my file system there ready to go. Super useful. So I would recommend that. But anyways, yeah. All right. So we have the exe now. So let's get that from our downloads folder and move it here. So, well, and move it. Shoot. Alright, Rufus to here, and we'll call it example.exe. Okay, now hopefully that should flag. And you know what, let's MZ. Alright, do you see that? MZ right there. So I think that's gonna work. but I also think that we're going to get a false positive from that text file, which will be interesting for sure. So yep, that's what happened. All right, so so what this is saying is we're loading up that the file type zip, file type exe. We're getting that match on the example.exe or rufus.exe, and that's true because it's an executable, it's a valid executable, and it should be targeted. Then our zip test, it's being validly identified as a zip via the hex code that matched. Target recursion test1.text. So if we go there and we see, okay, well that's because we prepended it with the first characters or MZ, as would be in a executable file. So that's just something you might run into that could happen. It's also unlikely. I mean, I don't. Yeah, there's no words that start with MZ. I don't think so. Yeah, I guess you're unlikely to find that, but it is one example of a rather simple condition that could lead to a lot of false negatives that need to be confirmed by other things. So let's keep going with that. Let's get back into our rules and file types, and we'll get RARs. I don't know if that's one. Okay. Nope. Alright, I should start just looking at it instead of getting a bunch of 404 errors. Okay, so PDF, that would be a good one. And some of these, like, I've never seen a macho file, so I'm not going to include it. If I was using, if I was using this for something where I should look into what a macho file is, or an old CF file. I don't know what all those are. I do know, rich text files, and I know that, sometimes they have stuff in them. I'm just going for the common ones that I'm gonna be able to, flash files, different things like that, things that might actually come my way. Yeah, good enough for file types, I think, for right now. Let's take a look at that, though, to see. So I guess kind of what I'm looking for is to find, can you make a YARA rule for checking to see if the file name or the file extension is of a certain type, because if you have an exe that doesn't actually have the contents of an exe, or a PDF or a JPEG, something like that, where it can be manipulated to look like one thing but not actually contain that one thing. Um, you know, and this is in Python. I don't know. Maybe that. I've been reading about CGI bins, and I wonder if you could have something on any image upload, or of any file upload to a server. If you could run a deep file inspection to see, okay, well, is this what they're saying it is? You know, a lot of capture the flags have that where you upload a PHP script, but it's actually it has the extension of a JPEG file because the file uploader only checks via the extension name. I don't know how common that is anymore, though. Like, I think that's just something in those challenges. Because I think, if you're using a package, like Django or something, it's probably already handled for you. But anyways, yeah, so I guess we have a pretty nice rule set now in file types. Yeah, alright, cool. It didn't upload any of the 404 errors. That's good. And let's just kind of check to make sure. Yeah, so thank you, Jason Batchelor, from Emerson. You're a good guy. Alrighty. Used for OSINT and threat counterintelligence. So, oh, that one's gone. That would have been kind of cool. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, for me, I kind of want. I want this more to find useful information inside of a file. If I see any emails, if I see any different things like that. And you can include that in a YARA file. You can include whether you want to have a regular expression checking for in the body of the how many matches of a certain text. I wonder how you can do multiple matches though. Like if you just if to find how many instances of a word are in a text file, if you can do that with a YARA rule. It seems probably extraneous. I think a lot of this, or most of this, could be done with just regular expressions. But this is in Python logic. But this is a really nice way to get around all the ridiculous regex lingo. Yeah, so it can check for different, crypto hashes or things like that. I've seen some for like RSA keys. A lot of these, I mean, I've seen it's in regex, but these are all tools. Yeah, we'll do it like this. Different. Yeah, awesome. So documents, file types, I guess, miss rules. None of these look useful for me. Rats. Dark addiction. Yeah, so this is a way to find different rats, identify them. Remote shells. Whoa. Okay, so this guy hoards YARA rolls. And I mean, we can, if we wanted to, we could just put all of these in there, I think. I think that's how it will work. We'll give that a shot. I mean, it's a little ridiculous. I don't even think I could, we really have that many reasons to be doing that. But I also don't really know how I can find some of this stuff. You know, like, how are you checking a file for this? It's just a string of, so these are keywords, I guess. Full word wide ASCII. Just trying to find that inside of it. Maybe, I mean, let's just check this out. This is also from 2015, but okay, so it's saying do you identify this malware? So it's yeah, it's checking for it's just checking the malware. So it's looking for okay, do we find this line in it? Things that identify, you know, something that this is doing. So are we going to the sudoers tab? And this is all suspicious, you know, like it might be normal to do one of these things, but to do all of these things, it might start to get, you know, suspicious. So etc sudoers, and then we're going to cron tab. It's like, okay, well, what are we editing the cron tab? And then it's showing, okay, we're echoing something from root. So we're editing it, yeah. And then a rule RSH. I don't know what RSH is. Yeah, but so you can kind of see what's going on, and it's doing a CVE. So that's interesting. Yeah, I'm going to, just to see how long it would take to do all of these rules. Now, you would never actually want to, I mean, maybe if you had a huge, you know, it depends on what you're doing, but for me, I don't think I would ever want to scan every file for some of these. Like, I know for a fact it's not an exe if I'm scanning like this text file. So it depends on your use case, but for just this example, I just kind of want to see, test around, you know, with the script I made, what I'm able to do. So I'm going to actually clone all those rules into here. And I think it should be able to just go and recur through all of these. I hope. Cat browser pass. Yeah, okay, so this is another thing. It's saying, you know, if you find any of these instances, let's make a rule for it, and if we find any of these instances in the file that we're looking at, chances are, you know, we're showing, you know, it might be a password, you know, it might be a password file, it might be leaking credentials. So that's what we're saying with one of these rules. Um, and I think, I hope this kind of gives you an example of how powerful something like that could be, because you're adding logic to something real simple, and over redundancy, you can come up with some convincing, or at least convincing enough conclusions that you can act on it. So, anyways, let's try to run that. Okay, yeah. Oh, all right. So, oops. We're gonna have to remove the dot files under there, I guess. So. All right. Now let's see after that. Nope. Alright, unidentified filter or identifier. File path. Yeah, and I guess that's something else that could be wrong. Like, some of these might just not work. Like, it's a huge library. So I'm actually just gonna... I'm gonna go to rules, open... I'm gonna go to that file, and I'm gonna delete it, because I don't really care about Thor web shells. And also, I wonder what's actually going on with it. I shouldn't have done that, but alright, RM Thor. Well, let's cat Thor web shells for it first. Whoa! This giant web shell, so it's showing a lot of web shells. Holy cow. Okay, well, yeah, I see this happening a lot now, I bet. We didn't get very far, but we'll see, so. Ay, ay, ay. Oh my, alright, I hope this doesn't just keep happening. I mean, I know I shouldn't be doing that, but dang. Alright, so I guess one thing you have to watch out for, I'm not sure, I'm wondering maybe if something's wrong with what I'm doing, but it looks like there's a bunch of syntax errors, and it's not from me, it's from those files. It's looking like there's just syntax errors in some of them. Or maybe it's that it's not using the same something as me. I won't even see if I'm getting close. It looks like, I mean, we got through a lot of them and they worked. So I'm wondering, I mean, it might just be that we're getting unlucky. Yeah, because we just jumped again quite a bit. Oh my goodness. Die, dear. I think it's just gonna keep happening, but eventually we're gonna have a big library of stuff. And that's always good. I think it is going to be satisfying when it finishes, so. And I wonder how long it's going to actually take to match things with this. I could see it taking a lot longer, and I don't know. Maybe we can do a configuration and give it priorities, like, I don't know, I guess it's all based off preferences. I'm sure like a malware software might have different weights, like a full scan might not check certain roles because you don't need those certain roles. It's kind of crazy how simple the whole thing is if you look at it. I'm probably oversimplifying a lot of this anti-malware software, but if it's like this type of file inspection, there's not really that. I mean, you saw some of those YARA files. They're pretty simple rules. I think, yeah, I mean, also these index files, when I'm removing stuff, I'm sure it's not gonna, work as it was supposed to anymore. I still have not changed Control A, so yeah. Alright. Just keeps on going. Honestly, I'm about to just start, if I get an error from one, I'm removing the whole library. I can add them later, one by one. But, which is a shame, because there's a lot of really, I mean, interesting ones, but I'm not going to be here all night, you know? Yeah, like, well, this guy, I don't think I need him. It's got a weird file name anyways. Inspect and end the file. I mean, it does really seem like that's what's going on, is that it's just that some of these just have improper rules, or maybe they used to be proper and now it doesn't work, or I'm doing something wrong, or it depends on something. I don't know, but it does seem like it's happening quite a bit. And it stinks, because some of these, like, I think Alien Vault's pretty big. So I'm hoping that it does seem like I'm not going to be able to keep most of the stuff. And it makes sense that the index doesn't work or something, but see, now Kaspersky, like, there's something else wrong then, because I'm sure that Kaspersky's not gonna have you know, stuff like that wrong with it, I doubt. But we're gonna just go with it, so you know, as we find things that don't work, we'll just delete them. I mean, that's an interest. So Lazarus, WannaCry. Oh gosh. All right. So. Dragos. Alright, so doesn't seem like this is going in any certain order. unfortunately, is what we're doing. So. I'm not sure why CC cleaner. I mean, that was an interesting one to me. Why they would be willing to identify that, and maybe it's like to see if it's another type of cleaner because some do different things. I don't know. That's interesting though. Crunchyroll. Yep. I don't need Crunchyroll. I could just have a like a try catch for syntax errors and just excuse ones that don't work. I mean, that might be a better idea than just deleting all of it. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna do that because I should go anyways. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Obviously this is a much bigger list now. Yeah, I mean, like, I've been going through this by hand, and I'm sure I'm not even halfway done. So I'm not gonna do that anymore. We're just going to surround. Let's see where that error is thrown. It's thrown at line 22, 946. Yeah, line 22. So it's when we're compiling. So if we give that a good try accept, and we'll do that. We don't need to be passing, and then exception is E. Print syntax. Oh, error. Let's give that a shot. It didn't even print any errors, so I don't know. Emirates credit stealer, yeah. So, but credential stealer, but must be string. Okay, so It happens. It happens. I think that'll work. Yeah, okay, cool. So it's gonna take forever now to match something. And that's gonna be something we have to think about, you know? Because it's a lot of rules to be checking something for. We don't really, I mean, we can give it kind of some updates of what we're checking for, and maybe even have a progress bar, just kind of showing what is going on. I'm gonna just kind of check for all the errors. So any of the ones tabbed are valid, and then the ones that are untabbed are showing errors. So you know, either we could do something about these. I mean, it's kind of nice that we don't have to now. Jesus, why does it do that? Okay, so, but I mean, just so many tools. So we're looking for shellcode monitors. But wait, we'll get back to the beginning and segmentation fault. Oh no. I goofed. It might just be too much. Let's try with a lot less. I mean, like, that was extreme. Eventually, though, I do want to be doing that. But I mean, let's not be going nuts. I don't know. Maybe we can. Yeah. All right. So we'll just delete a lot of these out, because we don't really need that. You know, such a crazy amount. Let's keep some of the ones that I know are good. So, like, for example, file types. Kaspersky, Inquest, Malwarebytes, Rapid7, but yeah, alright, so you get what I mean. Because we can't be, yeah, we can't be going nuts with this. Maybe even, well, no, we'll keep that deleted. I have also deleted a lot from some of these. What the hell happened? Oh my gosh. Alright, well that did it. And this is a much smaller, albeit it still might Still might mess things up. And this one doesn't even have anything in it. Move the trash. Kaspersky, so ransomware. I kind of regret picking the ones I did. None of these are really going to help us all that much, but yeah, we'll just give this a shot just because it's less files, and we'll see how long it. Yeah, all right. So it was just, I think, a matter of that was way too many files to be giving it. This it matched. So example.exe matched a few of these. So embedded PE is of the file type exe. And MISC, UPX, PAX binary. It probably flagged this twice because I included it in the file types, and then it's also in that Emerson, rule set that we included. Zip test 1, yeah, so that's just telling me the file type. This is saying embedded PE, so I do want to see what that is. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna be able to find it like that. But that's definitely something that happened. I'm not really sure where I'd be able to find that. But this is interesting. So this is saying by RSA index shellcode RTF or text format with potential shellcode. I mean, so yeah, there's definitely some interesting ones, and they might come up with a flag. I mean, I wasn't expecting to get the embedded PE flag. I'm still not exactly portable executable, probably embedded portable executable, maybe, because it is it's Rufus. I'm not sure, but I hope that gave you a good understanding of what these rules might be used for, and how this type of application might be useful. Wasn't much coding today, but I hope you kind of understood what was going on. Not really sure where I'm going to go with this project, but I do think it was kind of an interesting script to show show what's possible with this. I do think I thought I fixed that to do. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, either way, this stuff's all available on GitHub. I'll be posting. I mean, so I have this. I have this actually as a separate. A separate. What the heck am I doing? So right now, it's just a simple scanner on this. I made it, a little while ago, and here's that. Yeah, so here's the latest stuff that it's doing. It's pretty simple. This is, yeah, as you can see now, it's easy enough as adding your own rule. I'm gonna re-pull this, add the try catch up here so you can ignore rules that aren't syntactically correct and then correct them on your own, or do something like that. But other than that, I think that's all I'm going to do with this simple scanner. I might make something more complex, make it a cron job or something like that, so we can get something interesting going on with that. But yeah, I think that is all. I hope you guys learned something. I know I did, and I hope I see you soon.